Okay, so in this video, I'm going to play against a 1500. And a lot of you are aspiring chess players, are aspiring to be tournament players or just better chess players. So 1500 is probably, is definitely a very, it's an attainable rating, but it's definitely a very sought after rating for a lot of you because a 1500 is an average tournament player, basically. And I'm going to assume a 1500 is better than most of you because a 1500 is better than most social chess players. However, a 1500 has a lot of holes in their game still, and I'm going to exploit that. And I'm going to use Antonio here, or Antonio's ChessBot on chess.com, as an example of what a typical 1500 will do, how to exploit them and how to beat them. Because in order to get to 1500, we have to beat 1500s, right? So, okay, so first, we'll start off with e4, just typical stuff here. Okay, developing and attacking his pawn, so we should play c6. Okay, 1500s know their openings because, again, like I said, they're typical tournament players, so they know this stuff. Okay, so it's no surprise here that they can play, the first 6, 7, 8, or even 10 moves, very accurately. Okay, here I'm going to give my bishop some room, so if he comes back here, I can come back here. I also could have played bishop e3. I'll actually play bishop g5 here, just to see the defense of this bot. Okay, very good. So he plays here. Okay. So I'm just going to play queen d2 here. Okay, I'm going to take. I'm defending here. All right. I'm just going to take with the knight. Takes the bishop. I'm going to drop my knight away, attack his bishop. Okay, interesting. He moves in on. He takes the pawn and attacks my rook. I'm just going to sidestep and attack him. Again, he's getting pawns, but again, just like the game against Andrea Botez, he's doing it at there's a cost to it, and time is a dimension in chess. So he's using a lot of time in order to get those two pawns, and in that time, I'm just developing. So, okay, here he is also attacking this, and I have to defend that because it attacks my queen and hits my bishop twice with his knight and his queen. All right, so what do I do here? All right, here I'm just going to defend the pawn while developing. So I'm developing my knight and defending the pawn. Okay, now this is a very bad move because now I simply take this knight, and the queen could have taken before. But now he has to take with the g-pawn, which damages his fortress. Also, this knight not only can come to knight to f5, now it will come to f5. It's already poised to go there anyway. It was on g3. But now there's no pawn to kick it out. So this is a great outpost for the knight. Not only that, but if black had a light square bishop, he could chop off the knight. But he has a dark square bishop. So he can never chop off the knight now, unless he obviously sacked the rook or the queen to do it. But then again, he'd be sacrificing a piece to do it. So this is, I would say, positionally lost already. So the game is positionally lost at this point for the robot. And now, okay, the king is sidestepping into the corner. And we want to play accurately here. We also want to advance our position. So I tell my students, you want to advance with threats if you can. And here we can just advance our queen, threaten checkmate. I'm also threatening this move right here. Okay, this check, okay, again, we have to see the whole board. And what's the most forcing way to get out of this move? It's very simple. We just take the bishop. Now, a 1500 normally wouldn't drop a piece like that, but the computer's doing this because it was going to get mated and it has to avoid mate. So it's just prolonging the mate as long as possible by sacrificing the bishop and the queen. But already this game is over. So you can see that the 1500s, they're not that strong, guys. You can definitely beat them. You can definitely get to a skill level to beat these guys. It's just, the basics, just developing your pieces, asking yourself what's your opponent's threat, and making your own threats along the way and looking for the most forcing moves. Always look for the most forcing variations first. Okay, here I'm just going to take this free pawn. I'm pinning that rook so I can just pile up on it if I want. So I can pile up with the rook. This rook can never move now. And okay, so this is just pretty much giving him breathing room, I guess. But now I have check here. He has to block the rook. I take, and then I could take the pawn at the very least. But I might want to hold off on that move, another move, because the rook is pinned, and I'm not sure if I should let go of that pin. Let's see. I feel like I have something else here, but I'm just going to go ahead and play check. He has to block. Okay. And now I could, it looks like, I know, I was looking at check takes, I'm not sure what I was looking at there. But I will just, I'll take another rook. Why not? Okay. And now I will throw in a check here. Maybe I do win a pawn. Yeah, I do win a pawn. If he comes here, that's pretty dangerous. He does come there. Okay, now there's this threat of checkmate at some point. I'm just taking away squares around the king. Very basic stuff. Okay, and everyone should be able to win this game in this position at least, against the 1500 or a much stronger player even. So I can attack his rook and hit the back rank at the same time. So this move, queen h3, would be attacking the rook and hitting the back rank check. After the king moves, I have this threat of checkmate. This rook can also come into the game at some point. Or I can just play king f1, very simple. And that would be hard for him to handle. So I'm going to mix some ideas here, I think. I'll play king f1. Okay, so king f1. Okay, he comes back and attacks the pawn. I don't really want to defend the pawn, but I can just simply play rook g1. This pins the rook to the king, so he can't take the pawn. So he has to trade rooks with me. And now I'm just up a whole queen. And now we always look for forcing moves first. So basically, there's a 3-step system of how I analyze a given position in the middle game of chess, right? I always look for forcing moves first. So we don't have any good forcing moves, right? If I check with my queen, I'm just giving away my queen for no reason, right? If I take this pawn, another forcing move, I just lose my queen for no reason. So the next thing is we look for a threatening move, right? A very powerful threat that leads to mate, unavoidable mate, or loss of material for our opponent. And if we don't have that, then we just look on at an improving move and just improve one of our pieces in the position. Here we have a threatening move that wins the game. And how do I see that? Well, I'm taking squares away from the king, and I want to checkmate. I want my queen here. I can simply just play this move, which prepares my queen to come here, and he can't escape because my queen is guarding the flight squares. So that is checkmate. Okay, as you can see, 1500s are lacking a lot in their game. I pretty much won that game pretty quickly with not too much difficulty. So just basically, if you just develop your pieces early in the opening, just know your openings, know a couple openings. You don't have to know too many, and just know the openings 6 or 7 moves deep. But always know the principles behind the openings. And the general principles of chess in the opening would be develop your pieces, right? Always get in the habit of developing your pieces and castling. At that point, just ask yourself what's your opponent's threat and how to stop it. And after that, if your opponent has no threats, then just go to the 3-step system. Look for forcing moves. If you don't have that, look for threatening moves, and then look for an improving move. If you don't have a forcing move or a threatening move that wins the game or wins material. There is a caveat to that. You have to improve your tactical vision, because if you don't have good tactical vision, then you can't analyze a position. You can't look for forcing moves or threatening moves because you can't calculate a couple moves ahead. So there is no magic potion or magic system or whatever to beat everybody or just raise your tactics. You have to play tactical puzzles. You have to use your tactical puzzles on chess.com or wherever you use them and increase your tactical board vision. Because if you don't have that, then even if you use that system of looking for forcing moves and then threatening moves and so on, it won't matter because you'll be missing a lot of stuff. So after you've got your tactics to a sharp level, let's say at least 1900 on the puzzles, right? At least that you want to get to on puzzles. But you want to be very tactically sharp. And this is a skill everyone can work on. Just like working out in the gym, the resistance will build you muscle. The resistance that you put in your mind by practicing those tactical puzzles will definitely raise your tactical board vision, I promise you, by hundreds of points. So after you do that, then you can use that guideline of forcing moves, threatening moves, and improving moves in that order. All right, that's what I have. And please, if you like the content, like, subscribe, comment. If I missed anything, if there's anything I can do to improve on, anything you agree with, don't agree with, comment down below. And I'll see you guys later.